welcome to another show of Annie's Food Show. On the show today, I have a very talented lady, and she is actually a mother of light. She's going to explain what that is all about. And she is not only a talented lady, she's also a mother, as well as other things. But she'll have to say that for herself. And later on in our kitchen segment, her and I are going to spend some time making beignets and chocolate pudding to go along with it. So something fun to do with kids or on your own on a cold morning or warm day. Either way, it will be a fun show. Stay tuned and keep watching.
Anna's Food Show, your favorite food and lifestyle show. The assurance for your well-being.
Welcome to the show. And can you just tell us who you are? I said you're a mother of light. What exactly does that mean?
Anne, I want to, first of all, thank you for inviting me on your show.
You're welcome.
My names are Evelyn Manka. Manka stands for the Mother of Light.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, in my native tongue, from Bafut.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, from Bafut. Manka means Mother of Light.
And you are a mother of light, really?
I'm a mother of light.
How many children do you have in your household?
Actually, I have 5 boys in my household.
5 boys?
Yeah.
How many girls?
2 girls.
2 girls.
Yeah.
5 boys and 2 girls. So you really are a mother of light?
I'm really a mother of light.
Okay. And amongst what you do, you sing. You're an artist.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, what are you? Mother, artist? How do you rank what you do?
I'm a mother, I'm an artist, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a nurse by profession.
Okay, okay.
It all depends on how you manage your time.
Mm-hmm.
When you program yourself well,
Mm-hmm.
you go on well.
Okay.
With all the activities.
Wow. So how old is your oldest child?
The oldest child is 7 years old.
And the youngest?
The oldest.
Yes, the oldest.
The oldest is 24.
Wow.
And the youngest is 7.
7.
Yeah.
So you have a very active house.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So beignets that we'll do later will come in handy.
Yeah.
To feeding that crowd.
Feed them in the morning.
Yes, yes. So now, what kind of music do you do?
Precisely, I do gospel music.
Okay.
Even though besides that, I've done a Women's Day song,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, which educates the women on how to manage the Women's Day.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean now? How would you educate them on how to manage Women's Day?
Yeah, Women's Day. Some women have taken Women's Day for a day of jubilation and waywardness.
Yes.
Which is not really the theme of Women's Day.
Okay.
Women's Day is meant for women to gather themselves and then they evaluate what they have been doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then they know how to move on
Okay.
in the right path.
Okay.
But some women, they think that drinking,
And
dancing on the streets, and
Jubilation.
sleeping out of their homes on that day
Mhm.
is really the practice of that day. No,
Okay.
that's not the practice of that day.
Okay.
That's not the meaning of that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you do take a positive approach to looking at how Women's Day should be
That is it.
celebrated.
Thank you.
So obviously it means that you do take a positive approach towards your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And how does that play into the gospel music that you do?
Yeah, because actually gospel music is you're representing Christ in music.
Mm-hmm.
You're like teaching or talking or educating people through music.
Mm-hmm.
And when you educate people negatively, the country is going downward.
Mm-hmm.
But when you educate people in God's fear,
Mm-hmm.
I think the country goes forward, and even our daily lives go forward.
Okay. So, well, we'll continue our conversation in the kitchen.
Okay.
And we're going to make some beignets, and that go along with chocolate pudding.
Okay.
Now it's a little bit different from our normal puff puffs that we call
That we
beignet.
usually do.
Yeah, it's a different spin on that. But I hope you enjoy that, and I hope you'll be able to make those for your kids.
Okay.
Stay tuned, don't go away, and you join us in the kitchen segment.
Anna's Food Show, your favorite food and lifestyle show. The assurance for your well-being.
Welcome back, And in the kitchen segment, as I said earlier, we are going to make beignets and chocolate pudding. So what we're going to start off with is the chocolate pudding. So that is very simple to do, and I hope that you'll be able to do this at home without any headache. Okay, so I'll do the putting and you do the stirring.
Okay.
So we'll start off with 1 cup of milk. And this will probably be equivalent to about 1 glass or so. And we'll just get the heat turned on. Now when you turn the heat on, you want to put it on medium because your milk will boil easily, and you don't want to get bad. Now then we add chocolate to that. Okay, so you just keep stirring around. And then for our pudding, what we're using is custard powder, which a lot of people use as, custard powder or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just that simple custard powder we're going to use. And we'll add 3 tablespoons of sugar to that. I think it'll be easier if we do this like so. Now the chocolate is a dark chocolate, so it will not be too sweet either. So okay. So then what I'll do now is just sprinkle it, and then you stir it vigorously so it doesn't ball up. Okay, there we go. And also mixing the powder with sugar helps it to disperse easily. Yeah. So we'll just let it stir, and then it will thicken up, and we'll set that aside. And let me just have a look. Okay, excellent. Intensify the chocolate. You can always add a little bit of coffee into this. Make sure you can add some coffee to it. So at the end, we'll be serving all of this with coffee also, because I love coffee, and we'll add some coffee to it at the end.
Wow, it's getting thicker.
Yeah. You might just add a little bit of milk to it. Just a little bit. There we go. Get it smoother. So even though I say 1 cup of milk, as the cook, you are the judge of your pot. If it looks too thick, you just add a little bit of milk and thin it out a little bit. So you get it to the right consistency that you want. I think we may add a little bit again. Okay, just keep stirring. So you don't want the milk to scorch, and you don't want the chocolate also to scorch. So there we go. It's looking good already. Yeah. I'm going to actually have a little bit of taste. Just put a little bit all over my spoon here. You taste the final show, the final thing. Okay, but I just want to make sure everything is okay. Excellent. Yeah. So when it reaches the right consistency and you can taste it, make sure it's not greedy, the custard is all cooked out, and we're fine and set to go. So what we'll do now is we'll just turn off the heat on that one, and then we'll set it aside, and then we'll move on to the beignets. Okay, put it on our back.
Anna's Food Show, your favorite food and lifestyle show. The assurance for your well-being.
We are going to start off now with the beignets.
Okay.
And to do that, we're starting off with about 3.5 cups of flour. Okay, so this bowl will be a little bit too small for us. So what we'll do is we'll get this in here. This is already measured, 3.5 cups.
Oops.
And set that there. Now actually, before we get to the flour, what we need to do is to hydrate our yeast, because it's a yeast-based dough. Yeah, so we'll hydrate our yeast. So we'll get the yeast here, and we would have, this is about 1.25 cups of milk. Okay, so we'll get that there. And we add about 1/4 cup of sugar. So it's about 4 tablespoons of sugar. Now the sugar feeds the yeast. about a quarter cup. The sugar feeds the yeast and it makes it to rise. So we'll just use our whisk to mix that in. And we'll do about 2 tablespoons of yeast, 2 teaspoons rather, of dried yeast. You know, you can get yeast now in sachets, in the big thing. Some stores even pre-measure it for you, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're using like a little sachet, it's about half of that. Yes. Yes. Now I tend to buy the sachets because I don't use yeast as much. Now, unless you're making puff puff or other things, yeah, then you can buy the pack. Okay. When it stays too long, it goes stale. Okay. So when you try to bake with it, it doesn't rise and it doesn't give you a good texture. Wow. Yeah. So you need to always make sure your yeast is nice and fresh. So it's about 2 tablespoons. 2 teaspoons rather, not tablespoons. Yeah. And then I'll just have you. So what I'll do is also shift this for now because we should be able to see what we're doing. Okay. So just give it a big whip. Okay. So now you do that until it's like frothy, and then you let it sit. Now if you let it sit for quite some time, you notice that it starts getting foam. Yeast is almost like a live ingredient because it has its own character. So then we just let it sit now. Okay, so we'll let it now hydrate and then it sits and then it'll get a little bit foamy. Okay, now in the meantime, we have our 3.5 cups of flour. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt and okay, we'll create a hole in the center, and we'll add our eggs, 3 eggs. Yeah. Okay, now we're not going to beat the eggs before we put it in. Just pour it like that, and then we have 3 tablespoons of melted margarine. Yeah. Now if you want to use butter, that also is good. I'll just add a little bit. Okay, so there you go. So now what you're going to do now is get your hands dirty. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Alright. Okay, go ahead. So you just start now and you start mixing it vigorously. Let me check on this. Now sometimes too, depending on how cold or warm your milk is going to affect your yeast. What you want to do is to get lukewarm, so it's just like warm to the touch. Okay. Yes, just like water that you use for a baby's bath. Yeah. Okay, so while you do that, I'll take all this off, and so we'll have room. I think we needed a little bit of salt. I'm not sure that salt went in. About a teaspoon of salt. There we go. Okay. Salt brings out flavor. And each of those ingredients that we've added have their own characteristic flavor. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and just add our yeast. So if you let it sit for about 5-10 minutes, it'll be fine. Okay. So now the fun really begins. Do you have any girls? Do they like being in the kitchen?
One.
Only one? Okay. What would it take to get the other girl to love the kitchen?
I think I'll just have to encourage her.
Okay.
To love the kitchen.
Okay. Now what you might want to do now is give this like a whip. Almost like you're using, like you're beating it. That creams the dough and it will improve the texture as well. You see now it works the gluten, and then it works so it gets stretchy, and then it works the yeast into the dough. Like I said, you work your yeast into your dough, to rise, make the dough rise well, So you just give it a good whip. I just want to get my hands on there also, but since you're doing it, good luck. Okay. right. So normally you would do that until it's nice and smooth. Okay. Let me help you a little bit. My hands just have to get into the dough. Okay. Now you can also drop a little bit of nutmeg into that if you want a little bit of flavor. You can grate the rind of an orange and put it in for some more flavor and texture, and it will always be excellent.
It's getting thicker.
All right. I have to feel it. Okay. Okay. All right, my turn. Okay. No, she's done a great job already. So we'll just speed it up. Okay. One other thing I do, if you just help me take the cloth, put it underneath here, and put the thing on top. So no matter what, yeah, they just makes it steady. And just kind of give it a big old whip. That's a big one, of course. Yeah. So this beating now really disperses the yeast, disperses the dough, disperses the flour, creams it, as you say. So it all affects the texture at the end because it gives it a smoother texture in the mouth. Okay. All right. So we'll just let it now sit, and we'll let it rise. Now, we actually started one earlier, so we're not going to wait the whole 1 hour before we come back to this. But it would be good if you leave it for 30 minutes to an hour. And at its yeast, it just keeps rising. Yeah. So it will rise until when it's really risen, sometimes it starts to drop a little bit. Okay. And that will take about 30 minutes to an hour. Okay? All right. We'll come back and we'll move on to frying the dough.
Anna's Food Show, your favorite food and lifestyle show. The assurance for your well-being.
Here is the dough that we had set up earlier, and it's risen quite a bit. Yeah. It is actually a very soft dough. Okay, but what we're going to also do, which is different from our puff dough, is that we're going to put it down on a table, and we're going to actually knead it a little bit. So puff typically you don't do this. You just cut and fry.
Just cut and fry.
Yep. This is a very soft dough. So we'll set it over there. And then after the 3.5 cups, I just have about a cup more here. And you just work in as much as is needed, not too much. So it just takes a little bit of tender loving care. So I just fold in a little bit more, just to get it a little bit more sort of sturdy. Yeah, not too soft, not too hard. We don't want a hard dough like bread. This is not bread dough either. That will be making gâteau. So this, we just want it soft enough, and because you see, I wish you could feel it. It's really light and airy and very soft. So what we're going to do, actually, we'll just work half of the dough for now. Let's do that one just for demonstration purposes, and we'll put the other one there. And I trust that you will make this at home in the near future. Yeah. Okay. And just using a pin. Oh,
sticky.
Very sticky. So that's why you need the extra flour. Yeah, it's just to make sure you really have enough flour on there. And you just sort of, you don't want to roll it back and forth. Yeah. You just want to spread the dough. So you go from inside out. Because when you do back and forth, you roll out all the air. Okay. So just do back and forth, just spreading it out, pushing it gently outward. And just get some flour underneath. Push it outward again. Now we may want to just turn our oil back on to get it. We started heating up earlier, so just get it back up again. There you go. So you do the frying this time. Okay. All right. So now keep in mind, like, you know, when you do puff, you drop it in and it puffs up. it's going to happen the same way with this one. So what you want to do now, let me just sort of rub some of that off my hands so I can work the dough well. So what we want to do now is just cut it in a straight line, or however line you want. It might be crooked or straight, it doesn't matter. It's just that you cut it, and you can cut it into whatever shapes you want. Now you can do diamond shapes by going across diagonally. Make sure you have a well-floured knife also. Okay, let me just drop one in to test oil. Okay. Okay, we'll let the oil just heat up a little bit more. Okay. So this is something that maybe your daughter, who isn't quite so much interested in the kitchen, can be enticed. Yeah. Make it a game. But your sons, do they cook?
Yeah, they do cook.
What do they like to make?
They like to make spaghetti.
Okay.
Rice and stew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least they cannot go hungry without money around.
A lot of coffee. They drink a lot of coffee.
They drink a lot of coffee. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Right. So now we're going to actually drop these in. Okay. And you see it pops up right away also. So you just have to make sure you have somebody standing by to stir. Yeah, turn it over. Okay. I think that should be sufficient. What do you think?
Yeah.
One more. Okay, there you go. All right. So until they're nicely golden brown, and it doesn't take long to cook at all. So you just drop it and it just really browns. And you know, it's not like the other kind of dough where it's like soggy in the center.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Yeah, this just it puffs off right away. I think these are ready to come out. So it won't really absorb much oil at all either. Okay. Well, while we drop a few more in and wash our hands, and we'll come back for the tasting and tell you what it tastes like.
Anna's Food Show, your favorite food and lifestyle show. The assurance for your well-being.
Now we have our beignets all fried, ready for the tasting, and of course with coffee. What is the name of your album?
I have the first one is You Are a Winner.
Uh-huh.
Second one is Agowaka.
Agowaka.
And the third one is Woman.
So you have 3 albums out. And where can people find your album?
Album is Zam Agency.
Okay.
Harvest Bible Chapel at Veterinary Junction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so excellent. So you've heard her sing it, so go look for her album, okay? And I'm sure all the rest of the tracks are just as beautiful as you are.
Amen.
Okay, all right. Now, to serve this, you can either just sort of have it on a plate as we do, and let's see, you can just put some on, and oh, it's nice and warm actually. It's better when it's a little bit warm, very light. And then you just sort of sieve some powdered sugar on it, icing sugar, if you will. Just sort of put it on there like that, and it's good to go. And you can have it. You can actually have it for a dessert as well as for breakfast. It's not only limited to breakfast, but it goes well with coffee. So you can have it like so, okay. But I am going to make it even better for you. I have it there, and I plate it, let me see, like this for you. Wow, it's looking nice. And with a little bit of chocolate pudding. lot of chocolate pudding, as you love chocolate. So you can do that for that. And you can try that and tell us what you think. While I sip some coffee, which is actually Cola Coffee by Northwest Northwest Cooperative Association Coffee. Oh my God. And how is it? Oh my God.
Let me come again.
She's calling on God. Maybe I should try it too.
It tastes extremely delicious.
Really? Okay. I have to confirm what she just said.
Oh my God. This is good.
Okay. Nice and
Nice.
flaky, very soft and tender. Thank you for watching the show today. I hope you can go out and make these beignets for your kids and for your family or for whoever. Have it with some coffee and have some friends over. And why not? Have me over. Okay? Thanks for watching the show. Stay tuned for our next show. Bon appetit.